There exists a place where time stopped 60,000 years ago, where the outside world is nothing but a distant myth, a place so dangerous that approaching it is punishable by law and almost certain death. November 2018. A 26-year-old American steps onto a forbidden beach, armed with nothing but a Bible and unshakable faith. The island's inhabitants have one message for outsiders: stay away. But John Allen Chau didn't believe in staying away. He believed in salvation. He believed that God had chosen him for this mission. 3 days, 3 attempts, 1 tragic ending. This is the true story of the man who defied the world's most dangerous tribe.
You're watching Wayterra, your gateway to the most mysterious places on Earth. And if you are new, please subscribe as we keep exploring every day.
The Forbidden Island, North Sentinel Island. Just hearing the name sends chills down the spines of those who know its history. This 23-square-mile piece of land sits in the Bay of Bengal, part of India's Andaman Islands. But the Sentinelese people who live here have no idea they're Indian citizens. For at least 30,000 years, they've existed in complete isolation from the modern world. No agriculture, no metal tools, no written language. They are literally a window into humanity's distant past, living in the 21st century. But here's what makes North Sentinel truly unique. The Sentinelese have violently rejected every attempt at contact. Every explorer, every missionary, every curious visitor has been met with arrows, spears, and absolute hostility. The Indian government knows this. That's why it's illegal to come within 5 nautical miles of the island. Break that law and you face 3 years in prison if you survive the Sentinelese first. In 2006, 2 fishermen drifted too close. They never made it home. When helicopters tried to recover their bodies, arrows rained from the sky. In 1974, a National Geographic crew attempting to film the tribe had a member wounded by a 7-foot arrow. The scar stayed with him forever. The pattern is undeniable. The message is clear: this island belongs to us. Stay away. But for John Allen Chau, this warning wasn't a deterrent, it was a calling. A missionary in the making. John Allen Chau grew up in Vancouver, Washington, with every advantage: a psychiatrist father, an attorney mother, a comfortable life. But comfort wasn't enough for him. As a child, he discovered Robinson Crusoe in his father's study. Stories of shipwrecks and distant islands captured his imagination completely. He devoured adventure tales, dreaming of jungles, tribes, and uncharted territories. But John's adventurous spirit had a specific direction: fate. Raised in a deeply Pentecostal household, God wasn't just part of John's life, God was his life. At 16, he took his first missionary trip to Mexico. When he returned, he gave a sermon quoting Matthew 28, "Go and make disciples of all nations." For John, this wasn't just a verse. It was a direct command from God. Then he discovered the Joshua Project, a missionary database cataloging unreached people groups. There, listed among remote tribes, were the Sentinelese. The description haunted him, an isolated people who had never heard of Jesus Christ. To John, the Sentinelese weren't a tribe to be left alone. They were souls to be saved. For years, he prepared. He studied anthropology, linguistics, and emergency medicine. Between 2015 and 2016, he visited the Andaman Islands 4 times, planning and studying Coast Guard patrol patterns. By October 2018, John was ready. He arranged for fishermen to take him to the island for 3:25. They'd go at night, dodging patrols. On November 14th, they set out. Day 1, first contact. November 15th, dawn. John kayaked the half-mile from the fishing boat to the beach. Sentinelese warriors appeared on the shore, their faces painted yellow, speaking a language he couldn't understand. "My name is John," he shouted. "I love you, and Jesus loves you." Their response? Bows drawn. Arrows ready. Panicking, John threw a fish toward them as an offering. They kept advancing. He paddled backward, barely escaping to the boat. "I felt some fear," he wrote in his diary, "but mainly I was disappointed they didn't accept me right away." Hours later, John tried again. This time, he made it onto the beach. He offered gifts: fish, scissors, a football, safety pins. The Sentinelese shouted at him. He tried mimicking their words. They laughed. So he sang hymns and preached from the Bible. The tribe fell silent, listening. Then they surrounded him, blocking his escape. The Sentinelese shouted at him, blocking his escape. A young boy shot an arrow at his chest, but it struck the Bible he was holding. "I stumbled back and yelled at the kid for shooting me," John wrote. The entire tribe charged. John ran through mangroves, dove into the ocean, and swam the half-mile back to the boat. That night, exhausted and frightened, he wrote, "Lord, let your will be done. If you want me wounded or killed, then so be it." Despite everything, John decided to return. The final attempt that night, John poured his doubts into his diary. The entries are chilling to read now. "Watching the sunset, and it's beautiful," he wrote, crying a bit, wondering if it will be the last sunset I see. He questioned whether he should leave, let someone else continue. Then he answered himself, "No, I don't think so." Despite being shot at and chased, John convinced himself he'd seen progress. He composed a letter to his family. "You guys might think I'm crazy, but I think it's worth it to declare Jesus to these people. Please don't be angry at them or at God if I get killed." He imagined the Sentinelese worshiping around God's throne in their own language, as described in Revelation. "I cannot wait to see them there," he wrote. November 16th, morning. John asked the fishermen to drop him off alone on the island one final time. What happened during those hours remains a mystery. The Sentinelese don't explain themselves. They simply protect their home the way they've done for thousands of years. When the fishermen returned the next day, they witnessed something that would make international headlines: John's body being dragged across the beach. John Allen Chau, 26 years old, was dead, killed by the very people he'd traveled halfway around the world to save. The world erupted in debate. Some called John a martyr, others called him a colonizer. His family released a statement forgiving the Sentinelese, honoring John's final wish. Indian authorities registered a case against unknown tribesmen, but everyone knew no arrests would happen. No one was going to that island for justice. The real debate was about John himself. Critics argued he knew the risks. He'd been warned by everyone. The Sentinelese themselves had warned him twice with arrows. Yet he returned. This is how colonization happens, some said. Forcing your beliefs on people who've made it clear they want nothing to do with you. John's supporters saw a devoted Christian who died sharing salvation. All nations defended his mission, arguing his intentions were pure love. John's father, Dr. Tranxis, Patrick Chau, had perhaps the harshest words: "If you have anything positive to say about religion, I wish not to see or hear it." He called his son's death the result of religious extremism. Tian Pandit, the anthropologist who'd spent 25 years visiting North Sentinel, said simply, "The Sentinelese are peace-loving people. They don't seek to attack. We should respect their wish to be left alone." The Indian government never recovered John's body. The Sentinelese, according to observers with binoculars, appeared to guard the area where he was buried. John Allen Chau's story raises questions that don't have easy answers. Was he a hero following God's call? Or was he blinded by a dangerous mix of faith and ego? What we know for certain is this: the Sentinelese never asked to be saved. They never wanted contact. For 60,000 years, they've survived by keeping the world at arm's length. John believed he was bringing them salvation, but perhaps what they needed most was simply to be left alone. The island remains forbidden. The tribe remains isolated. And the debate over John's legacy continues. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And if this story moved you, subscribe for more untold stories from around the world.